Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Opera 101 with Cleveland Opera Theater. Opera 101 is our series, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, where we get together and talk about all things opera and take you inside this strange and wonderful world of ours. My name is Dean Buck. I am the assistant conductor and chorus master of Cleveland Opera Theater. And today we're going to talk about an opera that is not super well known outside of opera nerds, and that is Rossini's Il viaggio a Reims, or The Journey to Reims. This opera was written in 1825. It was the last opera that Rossini composed in Italian, as his commissions came from France. Afterwards, all of his subsequent operas were to be written in French. So this is actually his last Italian opera. And it wasn't particularly intended to have a long performance life. It was commissioned in 1824 and premiered in 1825 for the coronation of the French King Charles X, the second king of the Bourbon Restoration. Rossini, what he did, as it was a healthy commission, basically wrote a rock star opera. The plot is silly. Some people would describe it as maybe arbitrary. I wouldn't go that far, but it is definitely silly, and it is essentially an opera of what is happening. It is about a group of diplomats, all from European countries, who are staying at a spa and hotel on the way to go to Reims for the coronation, as that's where the coronation of Charles X was happening. It is definitely a comedy of manners. It is a farce. Describing the entire plot would take a very long time, but it's very much so-and-so loves so-and-so, who loves so-and-so and hates so-and-so. The gist of the story is they're all arriving and have their own issues internally, and then it's announced that they actually cannot go to Reims because there are no horses. However, they get an encouraging letter saying when they get to Paris, there will be a giant party for them, even bigger than the coronation, so they're all fine. It sounds super silly, but it's a really, really good, a really, really wonderful show. Reason being, it is some of the most challenging and spellbinding music that Rossini ever wrote. And there are 14 lead roles. It is a completely ensemble cast. Again, the purpose of this opera was essentially just to showcase all of the rock star singers, highest level in Italy, in Europe at the time. And so Rossini just wrote these incredible arias, and I would say one of the staples of this opera is the pezzo concertato in Signore, Signore, ecco una lettera, which is a 14-piece ensemble that is just unbelievably written, so demanding, really, really just amazing singing required to do this. So what happened after the coronation? Well, there were 4 performances in 1825, and then Rossini essentially shelved it and disassembled it. He intended this to be for this occasion, not anything else. So what he did was recycle, I would say, about half of the music, maybe a little more, into his next opera, La Conterie, or The Count Ori. So that pezzo concertato is reused in the act one finale of La Conterie. There are a lot of similarities, and the plot of La Conterie is a lot more engaging. It's hilarious. It's a wonderful, wonderful show. So Rossini had just kind of reused a lot of this music because Viaggio was really just composed for this certain one time. After 1825, the next performance of Il viaggio a Reims did not happen until 1984, well over 100 years, at the Rossini Festival The musicologist Janet Johnson, along with Philip Gossett, the known Rossini scholar, basically spent most of the 1970s trying to put back together this score because it had been lost. They worked off of La Comptorie, they worked off of the original libretto, and went all around Europe basically searching for fragments that were left over of this score, found it, and were able to reconstruct it as it was done. And it was premiered in 1984 in the Rossini Festival, conducted by Claudio Abbado and an all-star cast of some of the most amazing singers of the time, including Katia Ricciarelli, Sam Raimi, Ruggero Raimondi, Leo Nucci. And since then, it has seen a bit of a life. Again, it's moderately often done in opera houses, but it's an incredibly difficult show to put on because you need 14 stellar A-list singers, when most shows maybe you need 3 or 4 plus a couple, comprimario roles, which which don't have to be the same rock stars that the lead roles are. For Viaggio, everyone needs to be an absolutely amazing, polished, refined Rossini singer. Thus, the budget to do this show, that was required to do this show, is very, very high. I would urge you all to take a listen. It may not be the most dramatically engaging opera, but there is a reason that it's still done and not just La Comptorie is done. There is so much incredible singing, and there is a real charm to how silly the show is, and when staged well can be really, really, really fun. And just an excuse to hear all of this, a show where every aria, every ensemble is just an absolute showcase of amazing vocal ability. Again, it's Il Viaggio a Reims. It's Rossini's last opera in the Italian language, and would definitely urge you all to check it out. If there are any things about it that you would like to talk about more in detail, as always, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Please make sure to follow us, like us on social media, and we hope to see you again soon. Thanks, everyone. Stay safe.